Patriotic Front to UPND. That peaceful record is our pride as a nation and a true sign of the fact that democracy in Zambia is beginning to mature. But that legacy is now in danger. The capture of our institutions is the clearest evidence that democracy itself is under siege. When the referees were the judges of one side, when parliament becomes an echo chamber, when judges bend under pressure, when police uniforms are handed to party cadres, multi-party democracy is reduced to theater. We cannot and we will not accept that future. This I want to say to Madam Mwangala Zanomis. The ECZ is the referee of our elections, yet it is now led by a chairperson whose past ties to the ruling party have destroyed public confidence. And if she had the conscience, she would have resigned. The evidence of partisanship and visible symbols of UPND loyalists cast a permanent shadow in elections. Perception is not a footnote. It is the heart of legitimacy. A biased referee is a death sentence to our democracy. The Patriotic Front demands reforms, and those reforms must be undertaken now. Publication of all reforms, proposals, and meeting records. Independent observers embedded in the reform process. Public audits of results, technology, and here we also demand that it looks like what has happened in Malawi may just be required to repeat here in Zambia, where we stop the attempt by UPND to use technology to manipulate the results of 2026. We need manual tabulation of results, signed by all stakeholders, and real-time publication of polling station results, stack where everybody can see, and also equal media access for every party, especially the public media. Anything less is rigging by design. And so far, the UPND are attempting to rig the elections of 2026 now, even before we get there. And as PF were saying, that will not be allowed. The National Assembly. Parliament is meant to be the people's house. Instead, it has become an annex of Community House. Opposition MPs have been suspended for speaking the truth. Honorable Robert Kapianga, Member of Parliament from Pika, is a recent victim, together with his colleague, Honorable Mtoto Kafaya of Lunte. These, the most recent victims, as you may know, rulings from the Speaker have been rearranged against the opposition leadership during live political disputes. This is not discipline, especially when she pronounces herself. It is actually a well-orchestrated attempt to silence the voice of the opposition MPs in the House. Parliament has lost its honor and become a weapon against dissent. We demand a minority right charter to guarantee opposition voices, reforms to standing orders, and a permanent multi-party panel to protect the independence of Parliament. Because the UPND has successfully transported those who only qualify to be in the choir of praise singers of UPND to get into Parliament. The judiciary, without predictable justice, there is no freedom, and there can never be meaningful investment in that nation. Clearly, the judiciary has been infiltrated and manipulated. Cases are delayed or decided along political lines. Citizens are beginning to see courts not as temples of justice, but as instruments of the ruling party. This is dangerous. When the law bends for politics, the nation breaks. Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, please leave the sacred institution called the judiciary to function independently. It is a conscience of society. It is what is supposed to make society sane. When we have disputes and we can't resolve, there must be a place we can go to and are sure that the one who is right will be guaranteed of justice. We demand reforms to the Judicial Service Commission, reinforcing budgets for the courts, transparent judicial discipline, not this kangaroo judicial complaints authority run by UPND members, which has now become the slaughterhouse for the professional careers of those who choose to adhere to ethics, integrity in the judiciary. And we need to fast track election cases and cases that are in public interest. The Patriotic Front matter to do with the illegal conference that was held in October 2023 on the 24th should have been resolved within months, because it also, if not resolved, a threat to the peace of this country. The faces I see here are faces of numerous, representing numerous, if not millions, of people who want to have their views and concerns ventilated through the Patriotic Front. The frustration in this country because of the lack of participation in the political discourse of this country by Patriotic Front is a danger to the peace of this country. Judges must be servants of the law and not servants of people whose tenure in office is very temporal. Mr. Hakainde Hichilema is going to serve only 5 years. Yes. And in these 5 years, you don't want to ruin your career. We are remaining with just a few months before the elections. Those of you who have found yourself on the wrong side of ethics and professionalism, you have only a short window in which you can redeem yourself. Do the right thing. At least do the right thing towards the end of this short-lived President Hakainde Hichilema. You are not servants of the executive. You are servants of the people, of the law. The police in this country have allowed or are sworn to protect all citizens. Instead, we have ancient men like Mr. Musamba being IG, and he has turned the police into a militia for the ruling party against the opposition and dissenting voices. We want to urge all professional police officers, don't allow Mr. Msamba to destroy your career as professional police officers. Mr. Msamba was picked from the farm. He is archaic in terms of his policing. Most of you in the service have a chance to rise through the ranks and be able to serve this country with diligence and again improve the reputation of the Zambia police, which is ranked among the lowest in this world in terms of being professional and upholding the rule of law. We demand a return to neutrality, replace permit-style policing with a notification system. That is what the law says by virtue of the Christine Mulindika law. We no longer require to seek for permit from the police for us to assemble. We just need to notify the police. And the police only needs to provide, some few police officers, to work with our own marshals to make sure that we adhere to public order. Zambians are peaceful unless provoked. And now we are provoking the Zambian people by the conduct of the police. And we want to demand that please punish officers who enforce party orders and not the law, and establish a joint peace desk with civil society to guarantee the safety of dissenting voices. Yesterday, the Central Committee met, besieged with the above issues that I have spoken about. The Central Committee of the biggest opposition political party, and this I must emphasize, they are people who have imaginary daydreaming thoughts of thinking that PF is dead. PF is alive. PF is the biggest political party. PF is going to participate in the 2016 elections, 2026 elections. PF will participate in the 2026 elections. But we have also chosen that we'll participate with those who are like-minded within the opposition family. Those who believe that UPND and Misaka Ndechilema is inimical to the interest of this country, we will cooperate, collaborate with them, work with them until we achieve the aspirations of the Zambian people. We met yesterday, the 20th of September 2025, here at Secretariat. And among the resolutions, the Central Committee, in exercising the powers conferred on it by Article 68 and 69 of the party constitution, the Central Committee hereby resolved as follows: that the mandate of the structures of the party at ward, constituency, district, and provincial level be and are hereby extended for the date thereof until the last date of the period set forth in the constitution of our party for their respective tenures of office. And the Secretary General is mandated to undertake a process of validation of the structures to establish that all vacancies therein are democratically filled by eligible members of the party. We have extended the structure arrangement of the party from 24 to 72. And that exercise, we are progressively, undertaking, and I think we're almost concluding. And therefore, the process of doing that in itself connotes a democratic elective process, which in the next few weeks, we are hoping that we can conclude across the country so that we are set for the exercises that are ahead of us. We also resolved that the family of our beloved sixth Republican president, the late, to be updated on the stages in the preparation of the General Conference in view of the electoral calendar that the ECZ has announced. And that a committee to be set up to spearhead the preparation for the General Conference, which will be held soon as possible, but before the end of the year. So I must emphasize, we are not going to delay the holding of the conference because we have work to do after the conference as we focus on 2026. The Central Committee also ratified the appointment to Central Committee of one Honorable Emmanuel Tembo, fellow Member of Parliament, who was also appointed Deputy National Youth Chairman, to Mr. Celestine Mkandila, who is also Deputy National Youth Chairperson. 3, Ms. Namakau Srumesi, who is also Deputy National Youth Chairperson. 4, Honorable Grefford Monde, who has also been appointed Chairman for Mobilization. 5, Honorable Stephen Chungu, who was Member of Parliament for Rwansha. He has been appointed Chairman for Security. And I must emphasize, there are people who want to suggest that since he had stood as an independent Member of Parliament in 2021, they are in doubt whether he was readmitted. I must clarify that he has been, just after 2021 elections, a year later, he came back to the family, and President Edgar Chagwa was gracious to receive him and instructed the leadership that he be readmitted in the party. 6, Honorable Malozo Sichone, who was Member of Parliament for Isoka, has been appointed Chairman from Chinga Province. The following were also appointed to portfolios. They are already members of Central Committee. That is Honorable Davis Chisopa, MP from Kushi South, as Deputy Chairman for Security. Mr. Danny Yenga, MCC, he has also been appointed Vice Chairman for Mobilization. Madam Charity Kapona, MCC, is appointed Second Vice Women Chairperson of Patriotic Front. All these appointments are made in the interest of enhancing our effective preparation for the General Conference to be held very soon. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you. Aluta continua.